I just want to give an update on the Chanel Baroque palette really quickly because I said I would, and I'm giving an update. I do have it on my eyes now today, and I will say you will have a hard time picking these textures up without using that tool that I use. I'll link that video in the cards up above, because the way these shades in particular are pressed in the pan, they're very hard pressed. You need a super dense, super flat type brush to get the opacity out of these shades that I got in my video. Using this stupid little brush that came in there, that sponge tip brush, that worked on this formulation, this very baked type formulation that's going on in here. But I noticed when I used a fluffy brush, or any other blending brush for that matter, it didn't pick it up as intensely, mainly because of how this is baked in the pan. So just wanted to give an update on this. You definitely need to use the stupid little brush that it comes with if you want the colors to appear opaque on your lids. If you don't mind a soft wash of color of these shades, then I wouldn't worry about it. But if you want this intensity and richness that this shade or this shade has to offer, you're definitely going to need to use like a sponge tip applicator or a super dense heavy duty type brush. A regular blending brush just isn't going to get the job done. Hey love, what is up? Thanks for joining me today. My name is Lauren, if you didn't know, and today we are going over Dior Forever Soft Filter Liquid Blush. So if you're interested in this, just keep on watching. So what is this? This is the Dior Forever Blush Soft Filter Whipped Liquid Blush with a blurring matte finish. Dior Forever Blush Soft Filter is Dior's first liquid blush with a whipped airy texture for a natural cloudy flush. Its buildable formula delivers an instant soft focus filter blurring blush effect. The finish is a luminous matte cloud skin effect. The texture is a whipped airy feel with second skin sensation. The coverage is buildable and it's skincare infused with hyaluronic acid, 24-hour hydration, and it has 10 buildable shades revealing the perfect nude color for a variety of skin tones. The blush applies like a cream and sets like a powder, blending seamlessly into the skin. A single swipe gives cheeks a soft matte color with a smoothing blurring finish that enhances the complexion. Infused with hyaluronic acid, it keeps skin feeling comfortable and hydrated for up to 24 hours. It also says a palette of 10 shades designed to reveal the perfect color for a variety of skin tones, from pink hues to nudes, including a delicate red that awakens the complexion with a touch of natural color. And they retail for $49 each. So I got 4 out of the 10 shades, and we're going to go over each shade one by one, and we'll wrap up my final thoughts at the end. Starting my face swatches off with Oud, which I would describe as a rich chocolate brown with a red terracotta influence. It's my fave shade out of the 4, and the rest can fall in line after Oud. It gives bronzer vibes, and what I would consider a perfect blush shade is what I'm wearing in my Chanel Ombre's Boutons couture video, which I will link in the cards up above. I would like to mention I have a short featuring each shade individually on my channel where I put a more unhealthy blush blindness amount on my face, and we'll be linking each of them if you want to go back and see a specific color in the description box below. Next up is Orchid, which I would describe as a muted dusty rose. It's a perfect nude tone shade for my complexion, a barely there natural flush of color. I find myself building it up to 2 layers minimum to get this to show up on my complexion in the intensity I prefer. In my short, I'm slapping an egregious amount on my face. Again, will be linked in the description box below. But for this look where my eye look is so bold and I want my blush to take a back seat, I find Orchid is the perfect shade to do that with. I do believe I'm the cusp of people who can get away with this shade on my complexion, so if you're deeper than me, I would just pass on it. Only use I can see for it past the medium deep range is if you like to mix a lighter shade like this with a darker blush to lighten it up. Apologies for this clip being so yellow, orange, bright. I don't know. It was actually golden hour when I filmed this face swatch. Hibiscus is the next shade, and I would describe this color as a vibrant cherry red. She is bold, loud, and in your face. I always find myself having to tone it down with my foundation or concealer brush like you see me doing here. If you love red blush, this is the perfect shade for you. I don't have a lot of red blush. I'm just starting to dabble in it, but I notice every time I wear Hibiscus, it's one of those colors that make me look like I'm actually blushing. And as a black person, I don't actually naturally do that. It gives flush, cold girl blushing vibes on me, like I just came inside from the frozen tundra and I'm here for it. I don't have many blush shades like this that look like a natural flush on my skin tone, so I may buy more red blushes in the future if this is what they're giving. And last but not least, we have Bloom, the shade I'm wearing in the talking portions of this video. I was expecting more of a coral peachy pink out of this shade, but it's just a plain old pink. I'm not the biggest pink person, but this one is okay. It's not one of those ashy, light, dusty pinks, so it works well with my complexion, and I do think it will work well on those who are of a deeper complexion than me. I find all 4 shades to be super pigmented, and the shade range in this lineup phenomenal. Each shade I got is uniquely different, and I find none of them to be redundant. So I hope my face swatches were helpful. I did pick up 4 out of the 10 shades, which is an aggressive amount. I'm not gonna lie, I was so indecisive on the website, I couldn't decide which shade to get, so I just got all the shades that spoke to me. So I absolutely love every color I got. I think that each one is definitely unique and can stand out enough on their own where it's not any overlap or, you know, these shades are too similar and I should have probably just picked one. I feel like each shade I got is definitely a unique tone. So that was all I have to say about the colors, but what about the texture and formula of this blush? I actually do like the texture of this blush, especially once it sets down on the face. It does have that matte feeling. It dries down, so you definitely have to work fast. If you are somebody who likes to take their time blending and, like, you know, applying your makeup, this is not the product for you. You have to move at a lightning speed to get this where you need it to go, because it will dry down on you. It does dry down, so just be mindful of that. I will say my only complaint is the packaging kind of a little bit. I wish this wasn't a pump. I really do. My problem is when you're like using this applicator and you see how like it just kind of springs forward. It kind of like this doesn't stay, like, I don't know what's in here that's making it like this bouncy. Is it the formula or what? But yeah, it kind of like jumps at you. I don't like how the applicator kind of like springs out the packaging from time to time. And I don't like how much comes out of the doe foot every time. Like sometimes it comes out in globs, which is enough to do your whole face. But then other times anything barely wants to come out. It sucked too much of the product off of the applicator. I find myself dipping in here going like this, getting more product out and then like spreading it on the back of my hand. And again, I have to move very fast doing this because it will dry down on the back of my hand. So I'm not crazy about the way this comes out or the application method of it, especially the way I prefer to apply it. Now, as far as the formulation and how it sits and wears on the face, I will say I get a full day's wear out of this. My makeup has lasted all day. This doesn't budge, it dries down. My cheeks are noticeably matte. If you prefer a finish that's more glowy and luminous, this isn't going to give it to you. If you prefer a finish that's natural, like a natural finish on the skin, this isn't really going to give it to you either. My cheeks look noticeably matte after I use this blush or after I apply this blush. And I do mean matte, like super matte. Like you just baked your whole cheek. Setting matte. Like you took your setting powder and just baked your cheek. That's kind of what it dries down to. It's very matte. I know Dior like to say it looks natural, but not really. Now, if you're an oily girly, you'll probably love this blush formula on your cheeks. Not to say if you're a dry skin girly, you're gonna hate it, because I'm a dry skin girly and I actually do like this formula. I think it's great for the summer, honestly, or anywhere where you're gonna go and you're gonna probably be outside breaking a serious sweat. I think this blush is great for that. And I also think this blush is great for like if you need your blush to last, like you need a formula that's not gonna budge or go anywhere. Once it's on your face, it's not moving. Like I said, it dries down, so like you don't gotta worry about this budging, going anywhere, and it stays pretty matte for the majority of the day, especially if you don't use it in combination with any other type of glowy products. When I have used it with glowy products, I got more of a natural finish on the cheeks, not a glowy or dewy one, just a natural one. So it didn't look as matte as it looks today. Like right now my cheek looks very matte. it definitely takes a while for like your natural oils to kick in with this product. She dries down like cement. The pigment is there. You ain't gotta worry about your blush going anywhere by the end of the day. Not with this formula. So I do like the formula on this. That's another thing too about this. It doesn't seem like these are super full, because I feel like the hibiscus one right here, you can see that on the side. Like, why is so much of it empty? I've used this like twice. And it looks like it's half gone. So I'm not entirely sure exactly how much product is in here. I'm not a big fan of that, but yeah. I do like the shade selection. I like the formulation of it and the finish it gives on the face. I'm just not super crazy about the packaging, and I'm not super crazy about how fast you got to work with it to get it on your cheeks, because like I said, it dries down, and once it dries down like cement. If you're into like, you know, your makeup not going anywhere or lasting for an egregiously long time, or you need your makeup to last all day without doing any touch-ups, I highly recommend this. Also, these are fragranced, and I mention it because most luxury makeup is fragrance, but this is a strong fragrance. Like, you can definitely smell it. I could smell it through the packaging. They have like that flowery, perfumey type fragrance smell going on with them. So yeah, if you're not a big fan of fragrance, you're probably not gonna like this. I would just stay away from luxury beauty in general, because most luxury beauty is fragrance. So, but this is like stronger than normal. Like those blush bombs that they came out with earlier this year, they had a fragrance, but the fragrance was very faint and light. The fragrance on this is intense, like intense. So if you don't like fragrance, I would highly recommend you stay away from it. Yeah, but I like these. I would recommend them. If you bought them at full price, I don't think you would be mad. If you bought them on sale, I really don't think you would be mad. I think you would enjoy these greatly, especially if you like a makeup product that is a matte finish. It does have some flexibility in its finish. Like I said, when it goes on the face, it is matte, like completely matte. There is no like luminosity or natural finish with this at all. If you mix it with glowy or dewy products, you'll get more of a natural finish out of this blush, but that's as glowy as I can get it to get. I like these. I do recommend them. It's one of the better releases from Dior this year, and I do appreciate the wide shade selection that they came out with. The 10 shades is really perfect. Like, there's definitely a shade in the lineup for everybody. $49 again is up to your budget or discretion, but I do think they're worth it full price, and I do think they're worth it on sale. Like, I don't think you would be mad at this. So kudos to Dior, you know, they did well. I like this formulation. I wish they offered this many shade colors in their powder formulation when they like re-release those. Like, I don't understand the logic behind like, you know, how they're picking and choosing shades. I'm just waiting for them to come back out with Bronze Glow. I need this in the newer reformulation, but yeah, I'm happy with all 4 colors I got. I feel like they're all different and unique enough where like nothing's overlapping one another, and yeah, I'm very happy with my purchase. I don't regret a thing, so I recommend this. But that's all for me today. Appreciate you hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me, have you tried the Dior Forever Soft Blush Filters? Are you interested in these products? Are you skipping on them? How you feel about them in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.